I have to welcome you to my session. It's a journey towards Agile, and you can think of it more or less a case study about my journey, which is a more or less unusual one coming from the middle system administration. So we had Scrum Alliance ask us to remind you, I guess you heard it today anyway, we are eager to get feedbacks to even enhance ourselves. So if you want to, please feel free. Or you can get directly in touch with me via my Twitter account. So where does it all start? My story, as I told you, were rather unusual, coming in the system administration, and I joined the company JIPP.IT in 2009. And there, I then somehow started to come in touch with the Agile stuff through Wolfgang, because even though I wasn't working in this field by that time, I started to have talks about it, started to think and engage the stories he brought from clients, and I started to learn about Agile stuff, and the whole company from the values and beliefs is based on the Agile manifesto and those things. So the talking part was much in the foreground for my learning. And of course I also then studied occupationally, so half-time working and on the weekends doing the studies, and there also we came across Agile things. It was a mixture between development things, the business side, company leading stuff, and so forth. I started to read books in the Agile field, trying to discuss them with him, and through the whole thing, one of the most important things for me was just talking about stuff. It wasn't really necessary that someone, or the person I talked with, was in the field. It just helped me a lot for me to get things in my head and so forth. And the thing which was on the hand when it was time to write my thesis, bachelor and master thesis, let's combine Agile and the system administration field. So I wrote about how can we apply those Agile manifesto and those things in the system administration world, which was quite fun, but also it was to treat differently because of the sometimes harder to have things done in the sprint or the changing environment things, and because the field is even more unusual to the beliefs and values. So during or by the end of my studies, I also came about to be part of teams. So getting my background from the system administration field towards the teams via SCM, building up Jenkins, and helping the teams improve on the DevOps side. And it was great fun for me, and I realized that combined with the speaking and talking about Agile things, that's the thing I want to work in. Here, then it was time to do some certifications. And by that time, that was in about 2014, my performance on the system administration side, which I took for the company, somewhat dropped because of that one. Because I realized, or by that time I didn't realize that it will come out as the story we will hear then. But here, I got the opportunity to change, which is great. So from there forth, the company even more gave me the chance to build up my abilities and competencies and do co-trainings first, more on the listening part, and the more sessions I was doing with other trainers, the more active I become on the training side, and then I was given the chance to do my own smaller one-day events on my own and get a lot of experience and trying to enable change through getting to people the knowledge they need to change. And some coachings also. It's also inside the company. And the next step then was be part of the community. So in Graz we also have our local Scrum user group, and I took part on some of the sessions, and it was a not so active time, and then came back because I realized how important it is to meet with other ones, to get other feedback, to give other sides on the same topic, and because everybody gets it through a different way of teaching or talking about it. Just using another word and it makes click and into one. You can help someone. So, and here we am, hearing my story about my work so far, giving a talk as a first timer on a Scrum Gathering, and I wouldn't have thought about that if someone had told me that a year or two ago. So, yeah, it's great. But why did it come out like this? What were the success factors for me? Definitely the mentor. So Wolfgang did support me on any kind, I can imagine, I guess. Not only that so the thing is, in the beginning, when I joined as a system administrator, I guess I would have chosen the normal hierarchy ladder of going through the work world and going from the system administrator to team lead to, I don't know, head of IT or something else, and I guess I wouldn't have as much fun as I have today if I have followed those paths. So he made me realize what I want to do and gave the chance in the company, so I even didn't have to change company for that. So, and just try. It's basically, if you don't try and don't try it out, you don't know if it's right for you or not. You can think of it anyway, but you won't really know until so. Cold water, definitely. Yes, Wolfgang and the company is trying to set up any pool they can imagine. For example, handing in my story for the Scrum Gathering, why should someone care? And you just try it, make it, do it. And although on the safe way, because there's like chosen pools, of course. So, express yourself. If you were not eager to talk about how you feel or what are your goals or what are you trying to do and what's your purpose you want to do, and someone couldn't help you anyway. So be confident to say, hey, I might want to change, I might want to try this. Be curious about it. And ask the questions. Say it clearly if you don't know it. It's okay. No master was falling down from the sky. They all build up anyway, and everyone has started at some point. And try to express ideas you can imagine, and maybe they help the company, maybe to help you, and so forth. Have goals. Try to set your own reachable goals for short-term things and long-term, and express them again, and try to come up and to follow those and see if they are still here, or and to retrospective and respond to change. I told you earlier, if I would have followed the path I had previously in mind, it wouldn't have worked out that way. So you can see that the Agile Manifesto isn't only belonging to companies in that way. Responding to change is also on your personal level. And all the other things like focus and courage, you need it for your personal journey as well. And so it can always be an easy reminder if you're still on an Agile path somehow. How much did you come apart, or to help you make decisions for your journey? Here. And the most important one too, your passion. If you're not behind the things you really do, you can't get the things you can't do it great. You have to have the passion to be excellent in this field, what you do. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's a developer, product owner, manager, that's not the point. But if you're passionate about it, you will learn much more easier. You will get others on your track, if it's for the company level, for example, and that helps a lot. So, call to action. What do I want from you to maybe take from me? Be the mentor yourself. So try to think about your environment and help people take the next step, as small as it is, and help them improve. And then I'm sure that you will improve as well, because if you are discussing and helping others, you reflect on yourself as well, and that's great too. And there you can really judge the Agile spirit as we have it here. The great conversations beside the tracks, outside, at a coffee, they're the important things. And so you can really make a great impact for you, yourself and your colleagues or teammates on your way. And if you're quite new to Scrum or Agile, the least thing you can do is spread the word. And if you say it's great and you believe in it, and you will gain other insights on just doing so. Help people find their goals. Maybe you think of your environment. Are there people who might have lost their goals? Are they still striving for the excellency or mastery in their field? How could you help them seeing or being active again, and not just in the drought you're currently most likely into? generate new ideas, to help on helping others, or just new ways of thinking about a topic, or be curious what's behind the door. So if you step outside and if you want to change and you think, okay, let's go for it, be eager to look, not just, okay, maybe, so just say, hey, here I am, and taking on the opportunity and helping. So stay open-minded. So not only on the ways you can think of, just on that you see, is it still the path I want to take? And how many options do I really have? Which field do I want to improve in? Where do I want to make impact? How do I want to make impact? For me, it was to become a change agent, enabling change. On my personal level, on the team level, on the company level, or helping clients, doesn't matter. Most of the time we tend to shrink our focus down to one thing and forget the rest of the opportunities you have. And embrace the change. Currently asking, how can I evolve myself? What do I need to adapt? Do I need to adapt? What change can it be? What can I just keep going? What do I need something up here? I'm on the track. Be part of the community. And the community is not only, as here at the Scrum Alliance, which is the most obvious one, but also think about communities in your organization. They can touch topics you cannot take outside of the company, getting the community of practices for the different sorts of competencies and fields, and let them work together. And if you don't have a community yet, build one. Why not start it yourself? And of course, then be part of the external communities like the Scrum user group. And again, if there isn't any nearby you, why not just get started? Chances are high that there are other people in your area anyway, who just might not have yet decided to do so. Okay. Well, I guess I rushed a little bit too much through my slides somehow. But why not come together and talk in small groups about what of those things you can apply in your area, and get the discussion going. What could your next step be? Are there any questions?
company was already. I have enough words. Okay. I think they hear. So, was already an agile company, your company, at any level, from management till development, or there were kind of spots here and there?
It was. Wolfgang founded the company, I guess, 4 months or 3 months before I joined the company, and so it was just, I was more or less the third employee there, and we didn't, by that time I came fresh from school and we didn't have any lane caterers, no servers, no nothing, and the task was just build it up, and so we just created it from the scratch. Other questions? Yeah?
Thanks. Yeah, just you talk about your journey toward the Scrum Master and Agile goals. So, if you could mention like 3 things with teams, so what you have really learned when working in teams, if you could mention like the most top 3 things.
Stepping back and not making duplicating the solution. Reflecting, or try to have an environment where you are just enabled that the team can reflect on their own and can come up with their own experience or use their own experience to make decisions. As a Scrum Master, we tend to use or be somewhere and, of course, working with the team, come up with a certain mind, and then try how to fix it, and then having a solution in mind and going to the team. But if you can come to that one that you're creating the solution with the team, just as the facilitator, then I guess it's the best way. The other thing is let the team understand the why, so try that the transparency is as high as it possibly can for any decision, and also for the learning path and so forth. And third thing, it's hard to get the team or let the team understand what the cross-functional thing is about when the most fear I have come across, oh, we are not cross-functional, I now have to know all the things, and I have to be possible to do everything, architecture, design, development, testing, and so forth, and that's not true. The team has to be cross-functional in a way where you aren't about to stop when someone is sick, for example. And getting this to the team is one of the hardest things for me.
Thank you.
Okay.
So facilitate being transparent and then the cross-function.
Yeah, I guess.
For me, it's been like I've learned to listen, be extremely patient, and then you have and then you have to facilitate the environment so that the team can evolve.
Especially hard it is if you come from a certain area, like for me the SCM topic, and you see that they don't use it in the way it's used to be. How do you get them to use it?
Exactly.
So that's then even more hard to have the patience and to step back if you know something more, but not saying the solution again is then even harder. Any other questions?
Just a follow-up of my first question. At the end of your journey, then your company became completely agile?
Well, are you ever completely agile?
Or could you see that
there
was a big step?
guess yes, because we're trying every time we're trying to get as many people involved in decision making or in setting up how we want to do our work, but I guess you will be never finished with it. So there's even every time there's something you can improve or you can do better, and just providing the environment that you can do so.
Do you see flowers growing in the company?
Yeah, it's great to see if you had a team and you see they're now working together and not each developer on its own. And also, if you are a mentor and try to help others and you see them becoming better, it's the greatest thing you can get back, I guess. Yeah. So, I guess you first.
You mentioned that you made 2 certifications,
Yeah.
Scrum Master and
Scrum Master
Product Owner. How important were they through your journey, and do you plan any further certifications?
They were pretty much important because they were, on the one hand, they were the cornerstone where I changed the most from the work field view. And on the other hand, I want to become a trainer once, or also planning. The nearest thing I want to go on is the certified team coach, I guess. And therefore it's important to see other coaches and see other trainers, how do they work, and the discussions you have there, because in the certification trainings you have people from much different countries or different environments, different company styles, and seeing their feedback and their insights and the discussion point of view, I guess they are pretty much important.
And one thing that I didn't understand, in your main working field, are you working inside the company building software, or is it just a consulting business for Agile development?
No, we are doing both. We have developed our own products, like for CVs, a CV manager where you can put in data and so forth, and creating them CVs via templated and things. Then we develop for our clients individual software they want to have developed, and we also send our employees to teams which need help on the different positions. So, for example, I'm a Scrum Master now in a less adoption at the client, and there are also some testers and developers from our company assisting and giving the other knowledge, the programming knowledge to the teams that they can enhance and then maybe go on their own at a certain point then. You have any question?
So you said like the cross-functional importance in teams.
Yeah.
And I think a usual setup is that people in team are specific to a role. So they're either doing testing, or they're doing UX UI, or they're backend developers and so on. And then how would you, I don't know if you experienced that, but then how would you enable them towards agility in that setup?
Well, it's hard. I'm still struggling with it at the company I'm currently working with. But getting the different sides together and foster a culture or environment where you are eager to learn and you get respected for learn. And for example, our client product owner says, hey, take your time for learning and do pair programming and so forth, but the team not 100% taking it up as they could. So it's a lot of talking with individual people. It's a lot of making up possibilities for example, tech reviews, and slowly guide them and get them the insight why they should do it, and what's the cross-functional thing all about. And if they have understood why, it's much more easier. But it's a hard way, and a recipe, I guess, there is none.
Mm-hmm. And what are, in your perspective, the characteristics or traits that you have had to develop to go to a Scrum Master role? Like you say, maybe before when you were not in this path, you were one way, and now maybe you had to change yourself.
Definitely. Well, good question. For being able to take on a new responsibility, I had to get somehow loose of the main responsibility in the system administration field. And as I told you, I was building it up from the very beginning, and so it was pretty hard to let it go and let other people step in and take in the responsibility, and say, okay, to trust them more or less that they will do their job as good as you might do it. So that was one thing, and we had the patience and the listening thing already, and not taking too much action, just get the people the insight, and I guess I'm still improving in this field. Other comments?
Any further questions?